Welcome to Clixed Off, brought to you by Lucky Dice Cafe out of Huntsville, Alabama. Check them out at LuckyDiceCafe.com. And now for your hosts, Daniel Powell, Jason Alvey, and Tylor Speeds.
Hey everybody, welcome to Clixed Off today. This is your host Daniel Powell speaking. Just want to let everyone know that Clixed Off is brought to you by TrollandToad.com, the world's largest Heroclix retailer. Find Heroclix new and old on TrollandToad.com and use coupon code CLIXEDOFF for 5% off your Heroclix order. Merchant and pre-order items do not apply. And if you like what you're hearing today on Clixed Off, consider throwing us some support at patreon.com/clixedoff. We run monthly giveaways, and $5 and above gets entered into our exclusive Discord server for Heroclix strategy and tactics and discussions. And joining me today is Jason Alvey.
What's up?
I'm completely unprepared with y'all's nicknames today, so just
yeah. See,
FYI.
I was waiting for something good. I'm very let down.
Yeah, I know. We were talking about all this other stuff in the pre-show, so I'm just down. I just don't have the nicknames handy, except for Tylor. Next up would be Tylor the Animal Speeds.
Oh, okay. Sounds pretty good.
And then also today is Alex.
Yep,
Cruzz.
that's me.
Yeah,
That's me.
Yeah, I was trying to think of something. I just didn't have it today, guys. I'm sorry. Just no.
Tyler, do you not have an animal impression? Like from the Muppets?
No.
Okay.
I watched Baby Muppets when I was little.
Muppet babies.
Yep, that one. Yeah,
Yep.
that one. That's it.
Yeah, I remember that.
Clearly.
And your world is kind of weird.
Man.
Yep. I know theme songs way too well. I'm a music dude, so I
think
know
I do not remember it that well. Yeah, oh, but yeah, you said yeah, that's true. You're a music guy. So things stick with you.
especially theme songs for some reason. But yeah.
Man, this took a left turn I was not expecting. Like, right
You didn't
away.
expect the Muppet
Man.
Babies?
I didn't. I really didn't.
No one ever does.
I mean, I get the kick out of it because I totally remember that too. But...
Yeah.
I mean, I remember the Muppet Babies song, but
There's a new Muppet Babies.
Yeah, they
Google
tried
that.
to revive it like a
Yeah, it
couple
wasn't
years
good.
ago,
Oh.
and it wasn't nearly as good.
Welcome to the Muppet Babies podcast, guys.
Yeah. we talk theories of what we've seen in Muppet Babies.
Fan theories, conspiracies. What
What
the
was
cast
up
is
with
doing
Gonzo?
now.
so
Dude, we found that out in the Gonzo movie. You ever watched the Gonzo movie? He was like an alien.
I don't remember that one.
The Gonzo lore? What? Come
Yeah.
on. You're not a real Muppet Babies fan.
yeah.
Why did they have a thing for chickens?
You're not a maybe.
All right, so I'll say this. I'll add on to this. Have y'all watched the new Space Jam yet?
I have not.
No.
Okay,
not.
so this is maybe just a minor tiny itty bitty-ish spoiler.
Okay.
So they show the Matrix as a world, okay?
Okay.
So
The Matrix from the Matrix?
yeah, the movie The Matrix.
As
So
like one of the possible things, okay?
and I won't say any more about it, right? They just show
Okay,
the Matrix,
okay,
right?
okay.
Because it's Warner Brothers, right? They make Space Jam.
Sure.
They also
Oh.
own the Matrix, right? So my thought was when I saw that is there are people that are like typing away on their keyboards, right? Like, how does this fit into the overall Matrix storyline? How does this fit into it? Is Neo still the one? Is it actually?
Because they're remaking those movies.
What?
Yeah,
Or
December.
not remake it. Sorry,
December,
there's a
Matrix
sequel.
4.
Yeah,
Matrix 4.
there's a sequel. Yeah,
Yes, in December this year.
they're gonna look old.
That's exciting. Yeah, they will look old.
Yeah.
No, they can just CGI everything. The Dune trailer looked real good.
The Dune
Yeah,
trailer did look really good.
I tweeted about that. I've never been into the Dune franchise. Like, I've never. My dad used to like care about it, I guess, and there were like video games about it, like Dune 2000.
Yeah.
I never cared about it, and then I saw this trailer. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
you
it's
have caught my attention.
Yeah, the Dune has a very deep and storied.
It does.
Yeah, it's great.
I never liked the books that much. They were okay.
I checked out the books once.
I read the
It
books.
was
They
huge.
were okay. Yeah, they were okay.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
They were huge.
I mean,
Anyway.
I was one of those gifted kid kind of burnouts, right? So I read like 123 books in 8th grade, and then I've never read again.
Did you ever read Redwall? Redwall was my jam.
I don't know what that is, but
Some of you guys know. Brian Jacks.
I do know Redwall, and that's just because girls in high school liked it, and I was like,
I was one of those girls.
And I was like, oh, I'll check it out and be like, oh, this is with animals.
Redwall is so cool. It holds up.
It didn't work for me,
It's
but I
so
can see
good.
why you would like it because
Martin the Warrior,
it was a
Matthias.
generally good series. It's just it wasn't my cup of tea. So
Brother Methuselah. Anyway, can we talk about Heroclix?
we can absolutely. So we missed out on a recording between our Morehead event we went to and the Clix Cup. So we're going to just kind of combine both. And for Morehead, we used to go into like round by round, and everybody talked about everything that they played, and so I don't really want to go through all of that. I just want to kind of talk about what we played and kind of like just a couple of big takeaways from the event that we had, just individually. I already knew what I was going to say. I'd prepped this like before to just think about it as we went through things.
Well, why don't you go first to give us a general idea?
Yeah, I'll be glad to do that. So Morehead, Kentucky, we had 20 people that came there for like a win a brick, win a case type event. So it was Tommy Lytle and crew ran that one. So it was actually a fairly larger event for in person, right? Especially considering the pricing.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So yeah, the four of us were there, plus Jason Allen on our team. The four of us on the podcast here made top 8. All of us made top 8. And I made top 4. Tylor made top 2. Chad Birdsell won the event, so congratulations to Chad.
It was the second event in a row that he won. He's doing really well.
Yeah, he's doing really well with his team. So I played Batvaria, Doom Bats, Bat Doom. So it's Doom the Annihilating Conqueror, Amanda Waller, Batman Prime, Molecule Man, Charge Flash, TK Flash, the Alchemical Fire, and the Power Gem, right? Yeah. And a Sky Tyrant. Forgot about him.
Yeah.
He was he's relatively important, right? So
last minute ad.
Yeah. Actually, Molecule
String attacker.
Yeah, actually, Molecule Man was the last minute change. It used to be a Dark Phoenix, but in testing, she was just not as good as having the Molecule Man. So Molecule Man definitely probably top 3 piece in Modern, if not the top piece in Modern, I think.
A lot of people would agree with that for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. He just plays really well.
I would not agree with that, but a lot of people.
Right. I think he plays really well.
It's just because I don't like Barrier. But...
I love Barrier.
Yeah.
So my main takeaway from the event was as we get into in-person play is back, right? Assuming this Delta variant doesn't kick us in the ass, is, man, you practice. You know, I talked about over the years, practice makes your team better. You know, you've just got to practice, right? And my day ultimately came down to two things in top 4 against Tylor. I made a placement mistake that I could have done much better had I practiced the team a little bit more. And I just completely forgot about Sky Tyrant's +1 attack when attacking a character with the shared keyword. And, you know, it's debatable one way or the other whether or not that would have won me the game, but I would have had 2 probs on something that I had 1 prob. Otherwise, I would have had 3 total probs on something that I had 1 prob for, and I would have had 1 more attack value, which would have made my first roll hit instead of miss. So, you know, the amount of reps that you put on your team, just understanding your team, is really important. Now, a lot of people would say, "Oh, you made top 4. You know, technically, I got 3rd." You know, at an event, you didn't practice, right, as much as you should have, and you still got 3rd place. Well, that's why I go back whenever I say there is a large difference between 1st, 2nd, and 3rd and 4th. You know, typically that can come down to rolls. If I had rolled well, right, I may not have learned that lesson from Tylor. So Tylor and I had a big discussion on, you know, is it... that's what it was. That's what I was going to round this all out with was...
What is luck?
Yeah, no, it's, what is it? Opportunity...
luck is when preparation meets opportunity.
Yeah, luck is when preparation meets opportunity, but you try to prep... You try to do as much preparation as possible to mitigate your opportunities. However, additional opportunities lead to further preparation. So...
it's a really long quote. Just saying, you might want to curtail that a little.
Right,
bit.
it's not a quote. It's a. Did I say it was going to be a quote?
A lifestyle.
You started it out like it was a quote. And kept going.
Oh no!
It's
definitely
the T-shirts. And you kept going.
It's definitely not a quote. It's more like a paragraph. So I guess if I say it all over again, preparation. You let me think about this again, so Alex can put this on a T-shirt. Preparation mitigates opportunity. Opportunity breeds further preparation. So I loved my team. I think it played really well. I
love you too, Dan.
Yeah. I love you guys too. And I would play my team again in a heartbeat. And I think you know, with a little bit of practice, I would have done much better. I think I could have gotten to the finals, maybe even won the event. But I place it, you know, luck had something to do with, our rolls had something to do with that. But what stands out to me was my lack of preparation, which is something I'll have mitigated hopefully more in the future. If there's another event, right, there's none certainly on the horizon as of July 25th. You know, that are close enough for me, but
there are. What do you mean?
Jay's
there's a lot of events coming up.
Jay's event's not close enough for me.
There's the online event.
There's the online event. Howard's having an event.
What online event? I don't know what you're talking about.
Sandbox.
Norms. Yeah.
Oh, so yeah, I guess I would say with online with in person coming back, I have no desire to play online again. Online got us through the pandemic. You know, and we can talk about this as we go into the Clix Cup results, but in-person play and pieces varied greatly from the unlimited suitcase of copy and paste of online. I loved that the field was more appropriate for a collectible game at Clix Cup, and
I think we're gonna disagree.
We are gonna disagree there. I know y'all will disagree with me, and that's fine. Yeah, I just think, you know, from what I saw in pictures and what we saw in Morehead, the online stuff is just not. I'm not going to spend my time dealing with the Roll20 algorithm. Whenever, you know, in person is just more my style.
Hey, a lot of people don't like online. Not a problem. But yeah, we still do have Jay's event, and then we have whatever Howard is doing. So,
yeah, so Howard's thing,
there's
Howard's thing, I'm definitely looking forward to. Sounds like Jay's event that he just announced like 40 minutes ago. Yeah, 40 minutes ago. It's going to be when I'm on vacation, so that's probably a big negative. But Jay's place is a little bit too far, actually, just in general. For me personally, me and Jason and I. So, Howard,
like 5 something for you?
Closer to 6, really.
Oh.
And Howard's thing is close enough that you can do it in a overnight, right? Jay's is just a little bit further to where you almost got to do it in 2. You almost have to stay 2 nights. So
that's fair. Cool.
But yeah, so. That was my thoughts on Morehead, and I guess in general my thoughts on Modern there as we went through things. But Jason, what do you think? You played the same team as I did, so that'll probably be a good comparison.
Okay, so to make your whole little speech there more succinct, more practice, better no practice.
Yes, that's true.
Because I had it the total opposite. I didn't have any practice with it whatsoever. I did not play the team until I sat down to play the first round of the tournament. I didn't have all the maps that I really needed for it. I didn't have the Glen Grove Cemetery, which is a pretty important map to have for it. So I thought, I'll just use a Weird Kids map that I had. And you know how you've gotten in the habit of looking at maps on HC Maps, online, right? So that's what I did to pick it out, and I went with Krakoa, and I didn't realize that little orange square was blocking until I flopped the map out the first time I was going to play it.
Look at it. We ran into a similar issue, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even look at it beforehand. I just assumed it was it was clear and did something that didn't matter. So yeah, that was pretty much bad for me. I think I could have won another game if I'd have had the proper map. Anyway, I played a team. Yeah.
I can't do it.
Right. So yeah, I'm not super versed on playing barrier all the time because I don't really play barrier. So I made some placement mistakes, but I like the team and I love the team. It's super fun. I would play it again, no problem.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still made top 8.
Do you think the Alchemical Fire is the best choice for Batman, or did you like it?
I liked Alchemical Fire on Batman quite a bit. I don't know what I would put in its place if I wasn't going to use it.
Yeah, that's kind of fair.
Yeah, I mean we don't have the points for the exospecs.
Yeah, that's the only other thing I was thinking.
Because Power Gem on Sky Tyrant or the Flash, right, is just too good. It's just that's uncuttable, right? I think.
I actually disagree. I am of the opinion that I think Wall to Arms is actually better on Sky Tyrant than Power Gem.
I don't know. I was clapping things for 10 damage, so it felt pretty damn good.
Yeah.
I
mean, it can't be. I mean, it's not bad for sure.
But even if you made the switch for Wall to Arms, you still don't have the points for exospecs.
Yeah, true.
Right. Yeah.
But I like that Chemical Fire on him pretty well. I think that's the best choice given what we have to go with at this point in time.
What were you guys running on him before, Dan? It was something we changed it to Chemical Fire, right?
No, I was doing the first version of the build had Necro Sword and Spin Ring.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
So, just map-wide mind controls is really good.
Yeah, it was so much better than I thought it would be. Yeah.
I mean, and the fire just combos with 3 options combo with Batman's mind control.
Yeah, it's so good. Yeah,
so
for sure.
Yeah, -2 attack or the fire token or I mean,
-2 attack to a whole team. Fire token just automatically kills something. Yeah, it's very, very good.
Yeah, I definitely would play it. And
Yeah, and
practice
keep in
it.
mind, Realms is wrong on its
Or
wording. The fire token goes off every turn, not just on.
Realms is wrong
Mhm.
on a lot of stuff. I'm finding this out more and more. Check your stuff.
Yeah,
Because
check
they're
your
wrong about
cards.
High Evolutionary too. The Prime. But I can talk about that later.
But yeah, I don't know. I made some play mistakes because I'm just not. I mean, I'm just practicing it as I'm playing the tournament, right? So there we are. Yeah.
Cool.
Alex.
Yep.
Tyler, you did
I'm-
Tyler, you did the best, so you get to go last.
Yeah, and it could kind of spin into the Clix Cup if he goes last anyway.
Right.
True.
I'm kind of a counterpoint to everything you were just talking about because I didn't put my team down until the night before,
Alex thinks you should not practice.
and I went 5-0 on the day. I got lucky against Chad because I won roll off. I still think it would have been a good match, but I won not the roll off. Sorry, map roll. I won map roll, so I went first. So
What did you play?
Oh, I played the Lasso Varia. So it's a variant of Latveria and Latveria. So it was good. It's basically the Dooms, Giganta at low point, Shifty Focus, Wonder Woman, Flashes, all of that. I actually talk about it more. I have a video on my Facebook page where I talk about all my matches. But I went 5-0 on the day. I made one mistake in Jalen's game. I don't think it cost me, which is my top 8 match. But I lost it with a lot of he had a I don't like we talked about dice. I don't like blaming dice, but he made some very very consistently clutch rolls. Rollouts, yes. So a lot of he hit almost every attack as well. He didn't miss an attack, I don't think. But also just, hit every super sensed, and I could have played a little bit better, but a lot of it was dice, and that happens sometimes. So I'm not sour about it. It's the first time I've done as well as I did. So, just going into the cut as the number 1 seed, I haven't really done that before. So that was fun. But it was short-lived after round 1. So, but yeah, that was pretty much my day. I did much better than I thought I was going to do, considering I hadn't practiced. Is what I mean.
The Wonder Woman thing is here to stay for sure. It's very very strong.
Oh yeah, I had options every single game. Charge up with them first, start trying to lock people down, and then either Doom's coming up or the Flashes are coming up the next turn, or Dark Phoenix if you bother to attack any of them. I mean, there's a lot of options, and yeah, it was solid. I just felt super good about the team, and that's probably what helped me do as well as I did despite my mistakes, was the fact that the team is so solid. I just didn't feel like I had a lot of weak points. The only weak point was maybe objects. I had a ring on there I probably just shouldn't even bother with. I didn't play Molecule Man as well as I should have played Molecule Man. But overall, I was pretty thrilled with how the team performed. And I'll probably keep playing it, to be perfectly honest.
Yeah,
very
really
solid.
Good. Yeah.
So,
Cool.
that's all I got.
All right.
Oh, that was quick. That was fairly quick for us.
Like I said, I've talked about it extensively.
Yeah, on that.
Yeah, and we've got a good amount of questions to go over with as well. So,
Cool.
Tyler,
All right.
hit us.
Go
hit
Tyler,
it.
go.
Yeah, I played Animal. I was that with a +8, I believe. +8 Animal theme. Very similar to my Clix Cup build. It was Spider Hammer Eye, 2 Maggots, Chip, Ultra Humanites, High Evolutionary Prime, 2 Gorilla Grods. I played High Evolutionary at 40, and then I also played a Scott Porter Pog. for an extra Green Lantern sidestep, and just perplex is good. Team is super fun. It's got a lot of probs. I've seen, we've seen Animal a little bit. The initial inspiration was the Patrick Frazier alpha team that ran like Chip and Hammer Eye, but his was, and Maggots, but his was non-themed. He did other stuff in there, and then we also saw there was a lot of Animal teams recently, not a lot, but there was a handful of them. Used a lot of the same figures. Obviously, Wendigos are really good. What's the other one that people play?
Well, so the couple of the little Winna maps had an Animal team win too.
Yeah.
So
yeah. What's his name? Firstborn. Firstborn is also an Animal that he's been seeing some play. But yeah, I liked the shape of that. There's like, I think there's about 10 good Animal figures in Modern, and 8 of them fit perfectly onto an Alpha Strike team. So it just sort of made sense and fit, and it sounded fun. The team played really... Okay, the bad thing is very similar to Jason. I just wanted to play an open map. That's all I cared about. Because it's obviously an alpha. I don't want to give them any sort of terrain that they can hide behind or anything. So I picked... what's it called? Something on the canvas.
Settle it on the canvas.
Sell it on the canvas.
Settle it on the canvas. And I'm like, this is just an open map. I'll play this. And then I opened it in my first game. No, yeah, was it against you, Dan? Or was it my second game?
Second game was against me, I think.
Oh, the first game I lost map. The second game I won map. And I opened it, and that map sucks. The starting area is like a T. It's not a normal block. So I couldn't fit my team to carry everything, because the team is very, very particular with how you carry stuff up. And it also, the starting area is elevated, which I didn't realize, so it's like super hard to get TK lines. So I was fighting my map every single game. I never did the same opening in the 8 games I played, because I didn't have it planned out. So practice, people. It's very important. But yeah, it was a fun team. I went 4-1 in Swiss. I lost to Dan in Swiss, and then got the top and Chad in the finals. Lost to him. The big, the main problem, the main weakness, I guess, of the team is Lord Doom, or the Dooms in general, because Big 067 Doom is also an issue with the Maggots, because Autonomous doesn't work very well. But yeah, it was a ton of fun. I liked it enough to keep playing it. So yeah.
What did you change going into the Clix Cup?
Yeah, I dropped. This is probably just better anyway. But I initially did it because you can't play Scott Porter on the Clix Cup. So I dropped 20 points off for Scott Porter, and I dropped High Evolutionary from 40 down to 20. And it just gave me 40 points, so I added another Maggot. It gives me another +1, so I'm at +9 then. Originally it was a +10 because I had 3 Gorilla Grods, but then I dropped a Grod to add Waldo Arms, which was very, very, very clutch, and that came through with practice. So between Morehead and the Clix Cup, I think it was 2 weeks, right?
Yeah, I think thereabouts.
Yeah, 2-week gap. I very, very, very much hammered this team. I practiced a lot with Dan. We did several sessions, very helpful. Alex joined too a couple times. They were very helpful. I played just random people too. We spent 2 hours going over my first 2 turns that take 15 seconds to do in the game, because it's so complicated carrying 9 figures with Green Lantern. It's just hard to do if you actually try to do it on the map, because you have side steps and you have to carry up with Chip, and then you have to get them all to be able to be carried up with Spider Ham. So it's very hard to do it. It's like a jigsaw puzzle.
I convinced Tylor and Jason to buy Glen Grove Cemetery.
Definitely did. And it is probably my favorite map in Modern now. It's completely open. Yeah, it's practice was a very, very big deal, very key. Definitely practice because there are other people that practice a lot and very efficiently. So you win, you gotta compete, you gotta get good.
Well, I would say we had to get back to being good, right? Or you did, specifically for Clix Cup, right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because I definitely practiced more than I have since COVID started, probably.
Yeah, and we treated, I feel like collectively, we treated Morehead as, oh, finally we get to play together. We haven't seen, outside of Dan and Jason, we haven't all seen each other. And I hadn't seen you guys in over a year. So it was like,
yeah.
I didn't really practice. I was like, we talked out teams. We kind of talked teams and then countered each other in the progressive weeks.
That week, yeah.
And then we're just like, I didn't think about practicing. I was just having fun talking about it and excited to play at an event. So that's really what led up to me was just, I was so happy to see. I made the trip. It was a 5-hour trip for me for a winning case. But I was like, hey, all three of you are going, and Jason Allen was going too. I was like, I haven't seen you guys in forever. I'll make the trip just to see you. So, yeah, I can see why a different mentality going into the Clix Cup. At least that's how I treated it. I don't know about you guys.
Definitely agree. We've all have said in some form that we did not practice enough for Morehead, which it kind of makes sense because it was a bit of a smaller event. It was it was a win-a-brick, so it wasn't like a sanctioned rock tournament or anything like that. But there was obviously high caliber players there, so it was still it turned out to be more serious than I think we thought it would be, maybe. Yeah, it was a ton of fun for sure. That was a nice venue. It's a new venue, I guess, they got for it.
Yeah, they just moved across the street.
Okay.
The night before, I think.
Oh, really? Yeah, that seemed really empty in there, so that would make sense.
Yeah, they were moving that weekend, I think is what I saw.
Oh,
yeah, and the other store. Yeah.
Funny anecdote, about 3 days before the event, I was talking to my dad on the phone. He was he was with my mom camping for their anniversary, and he was calling me to tell me that he was going to be in town the next weekend. And I was like, oh, okay. And then he's like, oh, what are you doing this weekend? And he's like, oh, I'm going to Morehead to play Heroclix. And then he yells, and I pulled the phone away. He's like, we're in Morehead right now. And I'm like, oh, I did not know that. So my parents were there, so we got to eat lunch with them. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Jason, we got to meet the Spees.
Yeah, we got to meet Mama and Papa Spees. That was pretty fun.
I did get to meet them. I did not get to
briefly.
Go. Yeah. So
it was a combining of worlds. Dan talked to my dad about lawnmowers. I got vertigo.
You got vertigo? What? I don't understand. Why would you get vertigo talking about lawnmowers?
Because my worlds are colliding. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's a fun event for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Would do it again.
So Clix Cup, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just got back from Clix Cup today. So congratulations, Tylor. You won the 300 Modern event, and big congrats to PJ Bolin for being the grand champion of the event. So his overall placement and the events he played in cemented him as the overall event winner. But I would say that we particularly I only particularly care about 300 Modern and those results as being relevant.
Rising is better for 300 Modern, as a whole. So.
Yeah. 300 Modern is what we're here to talk about, as opposed to
Yeah, there was like a point system for each event, and you get points based on like I think you had to be top 4 in some of the events to get points.
Right.
So I'm not sure, and there was some confusion at the 11th hour there for how that worked.
But yeah,
So,
he won and he was named Biggest Cup. That was the title, right?
Biggest Cup, yes, that was
Biggest Cup at the Clix Cup.
Yep. Yeah. Clix Cup. Yeah. So going into, I kind of mentioned this in the pre-show. Going into it, the week leading up, I wasn't feeling great about it. The biggest thing is because it was, it's pretty expensive. It's the most I've ever spent on a Clix trip for sure. Because I've actually never flown for a Clix. I'm kind of spoiled that I live in Ohio for that. Yeah, there was that. Also, I was the only one from the team going, so that kind of was a little sad, just because it's always nice to have people you're more familiar with there for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't super excited about it. I was like, I'll probably not go to the next one. I think this is probably going to be just like not my cup of tea. But after the weekend, I have 180'd on that. I'm very excited to go next year. It was probably my favorite Clix event I've ever gone to. It was ran really well. It was super on time, and like there was so much space to play. It's obviously I never went to the old Rock events, but being able to walk from your hotel room just right down to the event is amazing. The banquet was cool. The show that PJ and Scott put on was great. It was just amazing seeing everybody again. Being able to play in a huge live event is a huge thing. Something you can look forward to like throughout the year to do. It just felt real good. It was an awesome event. Okay, that's it. That was cool.
So
everybody should go. They're gonna do it next year as well. He announced that he's gonna make it more concrete with what he's gonna do. But yeah, everybody should go next year.
So what were your thoughts on going? So talk about there's a couple of questions in here. So let's just start with this one from Rick Ryan. How many games did you lose all 3 maggots, or did that not happen?
It happened in my one loss. I lost once to Joe Yosafa Alves. I don't know. I think he goes by Joe, right?
On Facebook he's Joe Alves, but I think his official name is Josafa or Josafa. Sorry if I mispronounce it, but
I think he goes by Joe. I played him a couple times in tournaments. He's a great guy. He is very, very good at Heroclix. I might be biased because I've played him in 3 tournaments and I'm 0-3 against him, and I think I'm pretty good at Heroclix. I don't think there's anybody that's playing the game better than him right now. I just want to shout that out. He's very good. And if you play against him, you should be worried. But again, I could be biased just because I lost all 3 games against him. But yeah, that was my one loss on the day. I lost 2 maggots to like Colin Bell in top 16, running Justice League Wonder Woman. A lot of damage output on that team, but yeah, that's that.
So you lost all 3, and then so in the calling game you lost 2. So what like turning point was there for you to pull that win out?
It's hard to so the biggest moment in the match is when I won map, because we were both +9, and then it's kind of a coin flip there. So I had gotten the initial hit off, which helped. Obviously his Giganta was on Click 2. I couldn't kill her. I think I killed one of his flashes and did some damage. So he was already kind of on the back foot. His second turn was really good. But the team, one of the good things about this team is that it's obviously very aggressive, and it is an Alpha Strike team, but it has a lot of staying power. It's very tanky in how how it can take the follow-up attack from the enemy team and still put out a ton of damage. Maggots are amazing. They're 5 clicks long with super sense of the whole dial for 40 points. It's tough for people to get through because right now the meta is a lot of short dial things. There's not a ton of damage out there, and so it's hard to chew through 3 maggots. It's 15 clicks, all with super senses. So it's hard to deal with that. Spider-Ham is 6 clicks long. He's got good defensive stats. If you don't kill the Gorilla Grods, they can be very effective. I can get them to a 12 attack with high evolutionary, excuse me, and they can jump and quake. You can quake mind control now, so that they can just mind control everybody adjacent to them with a 12 attack. It seems pretty good. So there's a lot. If you don't wipe the team, it's still dealing a ton of damage next turn, and that's what ended up happening there. I just kind of outlasted him based on kind of just having more clicks of life than his team because we were both dealing about the same amount of damage.
Gotcha.
And you mentioned you may or may not try to do like a games rundown or something.
Yeah, I do want to do that. So similar to what Alex said. I've never done it before, so it's real early stages, but I want to run through like kind of key things on Roll20 to show how turns went and how my thoughts on the team, so that keep an eye out for that.
I can
keep me accountable.
Yeah, I can set you up for that, Alex or Tyler. I can show you what you need to do. So
yeah.
No, I think that let me see here some other. So Paul Cote wants to know about Lord Dooms, right? So I mean, obviously that's the pretty big, less perceived counter, right? So did you face any Lord Dooms during the event, or did you just avoid the Lord Dooms throughout the whole event?
I only ran into one Latveria team. There was definitely so that was, we can kind of talk about this a little bit. In Morehead, it was above 50% Latveria teams for sure. It was probably closer to 75% Latveria teams. So it was a ton, and that's I wasn't expecting that. But I was expecting it to be like 50% or something. Maybe not that high, but something. And it was definitely less than that. Which was very good for me, obviously, because I went into the Clix Cup saying I think my team just flat out beats every team that does not run a Lord Doom, just because of I do think it's a very strong team, and so obviously running into one and the whole thing is very helpful to me. The one that I did run into was LTBH Lucas Tom Van Holland in the last game of Swiss. Where we were both 3-1, so we both really wanted the win to get in, and it's the rest of the team just shined in that game. I kind of there are other things that can happen with the team that are help me take advantage of it. So the big thing is Spider-Ham is still really good, right? So what specifically happened in the team, I did get pretty lucky with some of the other stuff that happens on the team. So my turn 1 I equip, his turn 2 he equips. My turn 2 I do, I don't know if I do, should I go through like the whole team thing? Probably not, right? But turn 2 I'm moving up with the team. The big thing that happens is I roll Ultra Humanite, who is like the secret weapon on the team. His trait that lets him roll if it gets a 6. I just give a token to an opposing character 100 points or less. It just happens. So I did get that roll on him, and just double token to Sky Tyrant. So I just don't have to worry about his main attacker on my turn 2. Like it's so good. It just wins games when that happens. So that was really good. I also rolled a 5 on Waldo Arms with Spider-Ham, which gave him an extra free attack. I picked Spider-Ham gets to pick a team ability, so I picked Power Cosmic because I wanted to kill Stark Phoenix. So my turn 1, even though I couldn't make any maggots at all, on my Alpha Strike, I obviously tokened his Sky Tyrant. I killed his Dark Phoenix, and then I had to perplex speed to kill his Dark Phoenix, and then I placed Chip next to my Ham, obviously, and then so Chip sidestepped to carry Ham to be able to kill something else with the free attack from Wall Alarms, and I was able to kill his Valeria, which was a leadership that they could have removed the token from the Sky Tyrant.
Right.
So I, even when I can't do maggots, I'm up 60 points. His main attacker's token. At that point, it's it's pretty much over. He's only attacking me with Flash and a Lord Doom on his turn 2, and it's not enough to burn through my team. Another thing, the team is, like I said, very tanky in how my turn 2, because I just I never talk. So my turn 1, I'm obviously equipping the emotional modifier, and then I give Chip a free action to say -1 defense to everybody within 4. Then my turn 2, I go up and I do my alpha. They are all -1 defense. I get the full value there. Then after I make all of my attacks, it's free. I free action switch back to -1 defense or -1 attack on emotional modifier. So then when they're going after me, they're all -1 attack. So his Flash is only 11, his Lord Doom's only 10. My whole team's an 18 because they're mostly 18s and High Evolutionaries and 18 defend. And I'm dropping the MIT, so they like half the team has ESD, so they're 20s. I can double perplex somebody to a 20 defense. The team has 4 natural probs. The team has 6 theme team probs with High Evolutionary. So it's very hard after I cripple you as much as I can for you to come back after that. So, but that's obviously that was the best case.
As of note, you can also give yourself Battle Fury against Batman.
And yes, and against double nulls, which there was.
Against double,
yeah, because he has 4 through 6 shape change.
Oh yeah, so Andrew Fairweather. So I was looking at some of the other ones. Did ask about double null, right? So it made top 16. Do we think double
made top 8? I think actually.
Yeah, no, it did not make top 8. It just made top 16.
Okay.
So, we could probably just do a quick little round table. Do we think double null is?
I don't think it's a top team. I actually played it in a tournament. So I like it. It's super fun. It's cool that it made top 8, but
top 16.
And kudos to whoever played it. Top 16. But I don't. It's not an A team, but it's definitely something that you can do pretty good with. But obviously, a big counter to it that you have to worry about is emotional modifier, because then you're just kind of sitting there.
Right. Yeah, that impervious role is not as useful as you would think, necessarily.
Yeah, especially there's a lot of exploit, a lot of
right.
A lot of penetrating damage.
Right. Yeah, exploit's the big one, right? Or even, your Spider Ham having precision strike's also huge.
Yep, for sure.
Because you can just pick Power Cosmic, right? And then you go up there and attack him. Your best case scenario, or I guess your worst case scenario is he's on click 3 if he hits both impervs.
Mm-hmm.
And then, your best case scenario is, you're doing 5 at a time with your 2 empowers. So,
yeah.
1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, so he's on last click.
And that's just Spider Ham. That's not counting.
Yeah, well, that's
the 3 maggot attacks. With exploit.
Right, or maggot attacks with exploit. I was going to say also, just, you can just poison him at that point, right?
Sure,
because his last click is just regen. So, and then the maggots can then attack the other null, right? So,
yeah, pretty good.
Let's see what other questions we have here. So, Paul Cote also wants to know, what piece did you feel was your overall MVP?
I don't know. I thought about this, and I can't. I can't name an MVP, and I also can't name a worst figure. They're all so good in a certain situation. Maggots are obviously great. Spider-Ham makes the team work. Ultra Humanite can be super clutch. The Gorilla Grods it's a lot of hindering map, but the hindering roll is super effective. Their follow-up, if you don't kill them, they can Quake for 12 or they can Mind Control for 12. That just wins games sometimes.
You also caught people just parking their team and hindering when you moved up your grods, right?
Yes, because the map that Dan convinced me to buy has hindering in the starting area, which is pretty uncommon, and people don't really connect the two things some people do, obviously, and but sometimes they just don't. And
obviously, listeners of the podcast will now.
They will not. Well, hopefully, it's easy to forget things. But in the final match against Matt, in the finals, he parked his entire team in hindering on the first turn. Now I rolled a 2 when I rolled it, but just an old match of a thing where I could have just dealt 1 damage to his whole team or tokened his whole team just for nothing. So it's very good. I can't pick an MVP. I don't think it. No,
that's okay. No pressure.
I can't do it. They're all necessary.
Fair enough.
It's a perfect team.
Fair enough. That makes sense.
There's no flaws.
So Azrath wants to know what it was like sitting next to Emperor Vulcan at the top tables.
I mean, it was nice. He played Emperor Vulcan. He played it well. He got the pulse wave things, which made him very happy. Yeah, good job. You did it. Well, Vulcan is a fun character, and you do not see high point characters right now, so
no.
It was definitely a unique team.
So Brian Tylor talked about your question a little bit, team building strategy when we talked about matchups that he dreaded. McConnell Lamar asked, what was the most interesting modern team that you saw other than your own? You may not even have to play against it, right? So just that you saw being played, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Nothing specifically comes to mind, except for the double null team, right? That seems to be the standout.
Well, how did you feel? We talked a lot, at least a little bit, about the triple Jason Spider Pharaoh team.
Oh yeah, that was cool. Micah played that and Dustin played that. It's very cool. It's kind of just the team that everybody envisioned when Spider Pharaoh came out that nobody actually played. It's a ruler team with just Spider Pharaoh, 3 Jasons, and Proteus, the 10-point Proteus for +5. It's very cool. If you can't, it obviously has access to barrier with the tokens, and then turn 2, it's moving up. Micah had said at one point he had 6 rookies on the map, so that just seems fun. It's carry up 3, you make a rookie that's killing any retails. You can make a autonomous 11 for 4 piece. It has he also ran whatever it was that generates the Ares that generates the soldiers that give enhancement.
Right.
And then Spider Pharaoh just has enhancement, so it's doing 5 to 6 damage a lot of the time with penetrating damage. So, it's a cool team for sure.
Well, he may have cycled through 6 rookies, but he didn't have 6 on the map at the same time. I certainly hope not.
Do you not have 6 on the same time?
They have max 1.
Oh, okay. Maybe he did. He didn't do it against me, so probably maybe
right.
Started.
So that's cool. I like that. Right, and then if the 3 mind controls get to go off, then right, you're just sitting there for
because everything else is free. It's nothing that they're doing.
Right. Yeah, you're sitting there for 30 minutes while they
long time.
While they do the 6 mind control your entire team 3 times.
Yep. Yeah. And they have they have theme props on it too, and Pharaoh just has props, so it's pretty easy to keep going.
Right, and then the rookie has the police team ability, so that even helps on top of that as well. Mm-hmm. So let's see here. We'll talk a little bit more about top 16, but I want to just give Tylor specific questions here. So PJ, Tylor, what's it like to know that there's now video evidence of how much I mess with you when we play? Apparently PJ was a little kind of rough on you there, is from what I'm hearing.
He always is. I feel great about it. because now people can see the true PJ. Everybody's like, "Oh, PJ's the nicest guy. He clicks blah 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 blah." No, PJ plays psychological warfare, and now people will see the truth. Yeah, he bullied me in our game. It was a fun game for sure. It's people should watch that.
Right, it's not up yet, so
it's not, but it was recorded, so it's gonna be up.
Yeah, it'll be up soon. So, all right. Aaron Young wants to know: did you do anything in Orlando other than play Clix?
I ordered some room service.
Did you eat Chipotle?
I watched Hamilton.
Was it Chipotle?
Nope, I just got whatever. I liked their in-house like restaurant. I just ordered some stuff. They had good grilled cheese. They had a bulgogi Korean rice bowl. It was a top notch. You could get Starbucks. I did nothing. I sat in my room and then I went and played Heroclix and then I came back and sat in my room. I'm a very introverted person.
Watched Muppet Babies.
Watched obviously the Muppet Babies reunion. You know, where are they now? But no, I did not. I'm a very introverted person, and I will like to apologize because people did invite me to do stuff. You know, 4 Points invited me out to lunch. So the Texas guys invited me out to hang out with them, and I just kind of didn't because I wanted to collect myself in my room because I am so introverted. That's why I wish you guys were there because you could have pressured me to do more stuff.
We were trying. We were.
You were. That's true. That is true, but I can ignore you in text.
Yeah, you can ignore us in chat, right? So
yeah. The whole time, I'm like,
you were.
You landed, huh? What you doing? He's like, I'm in my room.
I'm in my room.
Oh, okay, well that's cool. You know, you gotta unwind. All right, so a couple hours later, what are you doing? Oh, well, I went to the vending machine. I came back.
I'm like, yeah. Did you go down to the bar and maybe like find some people like?
Say hi, go out and find a place to eat. I know you're not used to that, but
it's okay. It's all right. Tylor is here to share his wealth of knowledge and experience with Heroclix. Maybe not necessarily to grow his social game. So,
the hotel was very nice.
Yeah.
You know, the rooms were good.
Yeah. Whereas I'm a little.
My bathroom mirror had a TV in it.
Yes,
in it.
Those are very cool.
In it.
Whereas the other three of us are a little bit more socially butterfly, so
I'm half and half.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're more than me, which is everybody in the world.
Well, it's more like money talks for me. Like if I didn't spend much money, I'll just chill.
Yeah.
Like I'll just not do anything. But if I spent money, I'm like, okay, well, I'm here. I gotta go do something. Like
I do feel a little bad. I didn't go to the pool or anything. The pool was very nice.
I mean, remember at Worlds. I mean, I didn't go to the pool. I didn't pack a swimsuit, but we all looked at the pool multiple times from our room. And we're like, man, that looks cool down there.
Nice pool down there.
We did.
It's like, well, guess we're not going to.
Did we get you out of the room?
Sit by it one morning.
Did we get you out of the room at Worlds that year, Tylor, to go to the barbecue place? Were you there with us?
Yeah, that place was awesome.
Yeah, where we almost
died. In our crazy Cadillac ride down there?
Yeah.
Until the guns came ablazing.
Until that guy had a gun. Yeah, they had the shooting the other night. That place was awesome.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
Wish we were having that again soon. So,
yeah.
Tommy Lotto wants to know how much did you enjoy that hug on Friday night?
Yeah, and then I have to specify which hug. Tommy was part of the Drunken Heroclix gang, and he I very appreciate Tommy. Tommy's a good guy, and he told me profusely how much I was a good guy, and he hugged me a couple times. So I appreciate that. The banquet was super fun.
I can picture your introverted face as you received multiple hugs.
I do. I still appreciate you, Tommy.
Oh.
Yeah, that was fun. I feel bad for Austin having to get back to the room.
Oh, that's funny. Didn't they have to take like 10 shots or something crazy to win the?
I don't even know. It was a lot for sure. But I don't know the exact number.
Oh gosh. And then Michael Smith, who's returning a little bit to the game. You may not even know Mike Check, Tylor.
I've heard those words before in that order.
Yeah.
He did a rap on a podcast one.
He did.
Oh.
He did do a rap on the podcast. Yeah, that is true. He would like to know your favorite all-time click.
It's probably Wales, right?
He says you can't say Wells.
That doesn't seem fair to me.
He's dictating the question, not me. So.
I normally say Overdrive. I liked Overdrive a ton. He gave a lot of value. He felt good to play. He's one of the best points or best clicks for the cost like ever. I like Overdrive.
Makes sense.
I mean Juggernaut.
The XDPS one, right?
Yeah, yeah, the XDPS Juggernaut.
Followed up by the UXM one.
And then the Professor X con one, or the free comic book day.
Right. Yeah, you're killing me, Tyler.
No, top 3 Juggernauts.
All right, so a little bit more. I'll get one more here that was added later. Michael Holloway wants to know how you feel about Etta Candy and her Wonder Woman team ability.
Not a fan. I attacked Etta. Yeah, this was in sealed. I had a Superman. My first 4 attacks that game were against Etta Candy. 3 of them were he rolled a 6 on Wonder Woman super senses, and then the 4th attack was a crit miss. So it was an interesting game.
Yeah, when I saw your SEAL team.
Yeah, you knew I did not pull great.
I was like, oh, Superman and Harley. Okay, yeah, well. I immediately said, "What else did you pull?"
Yeah, it wasn't great. We pulled 1 super rare and it was Chip, so we lacked attackers. We pulled a Jason and Apollo, which are okay. But yeah, it's kind of not great. Harley's is probably the best person to play with Superman. It's a theme team, Amazon, and she can carry him around with Underworld with sidestep, so it's not awful, but it kind of is awful because it's Superman and. There's no nuance to it. I just sat there and rolled dice, and if I hit, then I hit, and if I missed, then I missed. You know, he was just literally sitting there. People were attacking me, I was attacking them. I didn't really make decisions, you know. That's what it felt like.
It is relevant. So a little bit more general, probably for all of us here. So, in the results and in the pictures that we saw, we didn't really see any full Secret Six teams. Considering how often they're brought up as a weakness, right? Did you expect to have them have more of a presence? I would say yes. I mean, Caleb made top 8, but his didn't even meet the qualifications for the ignoring protected outwit.
Yeah, it was a monster team.
Yeah, so I was very surprised to not see the full Secret Six not do better than it did.
I did play a full Secret Six team. I feel bad not remembering his name. It's John. Where's the B?
Burgess,
yeah. John Burgess was playing a full Secret Six team. I played him in the 3rd round of Swiss, I think. And it kind of showed to me the problem with Secret Six is that so the entire meta right now is Alpha Strike, right? That's just it. And so it's kind of morphed into you need Alpha and you need barrier or some way to protect yourself, like robots are hard to kill. My team is just has more theme than most teams, and it also has, like I had mentioned, all the probs and the high defenses and it's hard to it's just kind of tanky. Secret Six doesn't really have that. If you go second and they have an Alpha Strike, which they will, you kind of just lose without barrier and things like that.
Right. So was John playing? Did he have a spin ring? Or sorry, not a spin, a 0.
A 0 ring? No, he did not.
Right.
Which is kind of the way around it because it's triple barrier, but
right. So
it's pretty easy to kill that thing.
Well, it just depends, right? Because if you move up to just spin this, if you move up to destroy the 0 ring, then it has a chance on turn 1, right? So, but if it goes second, right, it should be playing 0 because then like Commissioner equips it and then Scarabs copy it. So you know,
Right.
Against a non-Doom team, you have 3 free barriers, 3 free squares of barrier, and then 8 power action barriers that you're able to do.
Yeah, but even then, it's like, you know, it can get stolen. If they're playing Scarab, obviously they can shoot through it. A big thing is right now there are ways to get through even barrier. So like so everything I just said is true. It's very much you basically have to have alpha, and you have to have a way to survive alpha. There's a few different versions of that, but I think the scientist team that we saw do really well. Those 3 in the top 16. I think what that team did well is that it kind of went a step further in that, like, it disrupted the other person's alpha with the large amounts of barrier, and they also had Mr. Oz, because a lot of the alphas right now are Sky Tyrant, Wonder Woman, Giganta, the Flashes, things like that. They all rely on TK, and it's pretty close in how far they can go. Like, they need the exact range. So I feel like Mr. Oz was a good play this weekend, because it messed with a lot of people.
Yeah. It seems like it's another, counter upon counter upon counter.
It kind of just built up to that.
Right.
And it seems to me like Secret Six, full Secret Six, still strong, but at the same time, everyone's trying to counter it. So it's a risky play unless you have the team mastered and are able to handle every scenario. It's risky because everyone's expecting it. It's not a surprise. People like surprises. People like, oh, I've done a different variation of it, and you aren't expecting that. Like Scientist was kind of like that, right? No one was really expecting that variant of Scientist. So it's like Secret Six. There's not really a lot of changes you can make to it. There's some, but not a ton. So it's like everyone was building like against it. I mean, every discussion, like our whole rise and fall talk, half of it was Dan saying, well, there's Secret Six. And it's like, yeah, that's true. And so that means it's always on everyone's mind. And I think that means people stay away from that a bit.
Yeah. To me, it seems like the best Secret Six version is what Caleb played, that monster with the Proteuses, because that guarantees like a pretty defensive thing, and you still have the strong alpha strike from it.
Right. Yeah, I agree. But I mean, if that's the case, if the full Secret Six is not a thing, then you have options in Rise and Fall with tent poles.
Yeah, for sure.
Because of the Mastermind.
But then it becomes like a rock paper scissors thing, because then if that gets strong, then people go back. So it's the meta adjusts.
Sure. And I would say
pull up or get Rise and Fall. So
that's true.
That's true.
And I would say shout out, at least from Jason and I, to Manny Kinks for playing Bat Doom. So
yeah, he got I think top 16 as well.
He did. He got top 16.
Nice.
So so I think that, and there's also a question. I just want to give a shout out here to but the status of the meta. Who asked that question? Sorry, that was Jeremy Christie asked that question about the Secret Six. Dustin Craven's just curious about the state of the meta. So I think archetype-wise, we saw just about everything represented in 16 and in 8. I mean, you even had Esbrook make top 8 with the Invisible Woman, right? Which is an archetype in and of itself, right? So you saw Secret Six with Caleb, you saw Invisible Woman, you saw robots, you saw the unthemed good stuff a couple of times.
Yeah, it was like 3 of those in there, yeah.
Yeah, you saw Scientists, which, to me, Scientist is almost kind of a version of Latveria in and of itself. It's pretty close. Yeah, and I'm not trying to just lump those two together, but they're almost the same thing, right? They control the map, right? They have options to control the map. They have good attackers. You know, it's almost like Latveria without the Doom, right? So instead of Doom, you play you play two high evolutionaries and a Claire Finn, right? And you're pretty much there instead of a Doom. So lots of perplex, lots of reach, that sort of thing. So
yeah, they play very similarly for sure. There was a good amount of variety for sure. One thing that we just kind of all missed with the rules change, everybody was saying, "Oh, theme teams worse. Theme teams is not going to be as big of a thing." There were 3 non-theme teams in the top 16. Everybody's playing a theme team, and also the theme teams got way higher, way more. That's probably more a thing of cheaper figures are really good right now.
So wait a minute, are you trying to say theme is better? Are we right or wrong on theme being more relevant?
I don't know if it's better, but it's played more than it was, and it's played higher than it was.
Right.
Was that? But could that be because it's easier? Because I mean, Latveria makes it way easier. It's about to get even easier.
Yeah.
With X-Men, I mean.
Yeah, and the Annihilate Conqueror definitely plays into that as well, for sure.
Well, so yeah, I mean, I think we were right in that theme is really important, right? And then yeah, you're right. So that +3 over your opponent is extremely relevant.
I think the problem is a metric we'll never be able to see is how often that came into play and won the game or countered the game. Because the one thing that's never recorded is who actually won map. It's not like something you mark on your build your sheet of how the match went. Who won map?
I lost map twice, I think.
Yeah. Now, were any of those 2 people you had a +3 on?
No, I lost map to. Oh, I can't even remember. I lost map to PJ, who was even against me, and then I lost map the round before that. Oh yeah, I lost map to Esbrook, Matt Esbrook. He took me to Ancient Hold.
So you had a +3 on him.
I had a +3 on him, yeah, and I lost to it.
Yeah.
Which I definitely would not have before.
So you beat Esbrook in just top 8, right? That was in the top 8 where you lost map, right?
Yeah, for sure.
But you still won that game, so.
Yeah, I won because I had. It's honestly because I had Ultra Humanite. I could just mind control through everything, so I had this Wolverine to punch everything.
But I think, to be perfectly honest, it isn't the map that people play theme team for. It's the theme team probs are so much more. I mean, I know it's down to 3, but anybody could do it basically.
Yeah, but it's way easier for sure.
Way easier. You don't have to deal with the action token penalty anymore.
Right.
It's so much more open. So, sure, I feel like when I'm building a team, it's like, okay, I don't necessarily have to play a prob now if I'm building a theme. That's not the best way to think about it, but
you're right, because we're not seeing name themes mainly. Like, we're seeing some Secret 6, but for the most part it's generic. Even Latveria isn't Latveria. It's a generic team. So yeah, that's definitely true. There was Colin Bell played Justice League. That's just kind of because that sort of fits pretty well. Same thing with Secret 6. So there are still out there, but the majority is definitely not named themes, which you could argue got a buff in the rules change.
It's a massive. Just think about how you're playing now compared to before. Like Wonder Woman Giganta, just running out there. Giganta could just prob herself.
Yeah, you're relying on the prob.
Yeah, it's like I can now do this more safely because I don't have to bring a prob person over, or I don't have to get astronomical perplex numbers into attack. It'd be nice if I could
actually really explain why Alpha Strike is taken off, because the big problem with Alpha Strike before is if you need a 5 and you miss a 5, you lose the game. But now if you need a 5, you miss a 5, you have at least one, probably two props on it.
Yeah, because we were kind of talking something like this about your team. I mean, you have essentially in one turn, for second turn, a potential of what, 10 props? 9 props.
Because I have 9 figures. No, 10 because I can generate the pogs, so 10.
Yeah, so you have 10 potential props in that second turn. Yeah,
Nobody can retell me because they're going to be colossal. My whole team can see them. They're not hitting that attack.
Yeah, so it's crazy, and I think that you're right. I think that outweighs. I don't think people are relying on Theme Team like I mean, sure, there are people who are relying high numbers to try to get map. I honestly don't think it's that big of a deal. Like I think you're still gonna have scenarios. It's not a guarantee like it used to. Still good chance, but not a guarantee. I think the Theme Team prop is the better.
I kind of agree because that plays into what I said earlier, that you not only need to have an alpha strike, you also need to have a way to survive the alpha, so that even if you lose a map, you're still going to be, safe from their alpha, and then you can attack back.
Yeah.
So as long as you have that, it doesn't matter as much if you win map or not.
So sorry, and I would just like to back up just for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Esbrook left his Wolverine within 4 squares of his Invisible Women.
Well, no. So he didn't play in his team against me. He played a different team because he just switched out because obviously Invisible Woman died.
Who did he switch? Who did he switch out? So he can't switch out Wolverine. So who did he swap to?
Yeah, he Chase, Invisible Woman, and Franklin Richards or Franklin Von Doom 70.1.
So he kept Chase Wonder Woman in there, or not Wonder Woman? Invisible Woman.
No,
the Sue Storm.
Chase Sue Storm from the Battleground Sue Storm, the Doom's wife Sue Storm.
Yeah. So he left his Wolverine within 4 squares of those and let you.
Well, so he was using it to equip. So his turn 1 he moved up, and then his turn 2 he's trying to move back to equip. And then barrier. He also didn't see. I kind of surprised him because I perplexed up my Ultramute Knight's range twice, and then sidestepped, and then mind controlled from 10 away, so he didn't see that coming. He didn't think I could reach him that turn.
Okay.
Just to clarify, though, for anybody that's confused, it was like an Invisible Woman to a Sue Storm, and then because they have to have different names, so they were different names.
No, he starts with a Sue Storm and an Invisible Woman.
You start with the Sue Storm, yeah.
Yeah, so he's a Blackbear. And then he switched the Invisible Woman to Franklin Von Doom.
Yeah, Invisible Woman at 75 goes to Franklin, and then Sue Storm goes to Fast Forces, Cosmic Clash, and Invisible Woman in non-POG matchups.
Sure.
But that's still but they're still named Invisible Woman.
No. I'm not saying you don't go to Invisible Woman and Franklin in the same matchup. Because you can't.
Oh, I thought he just said he did. Sorry.
No. So the normal matchup.
Against me, he switched one figure, and it was Invisible Woman to Franklin.
Yeah. So your normal matchup is 100 Sue Storm goes to 100 point Invisible Woman.
I mean, I think we could probably maybe all agree. I just think the reason, no offense to Matt at all, I just think the word didn't get out that the team's not good against Pulse Wave.
He knew it, but he told me he only knew it like maybe 5 days ahead of time.
No, it doesn't matter about him. It matters about his opponents, because
that's definitely true.
He can know it all day and be like, I'm not going to tell you that Pulse Wave gets through it.
Well, yeah, because before he played me, Kenny lost to him. Kenny Makes, and he just switched out Annihilate Conqueror because he didn't know.
Yeah, I think PJ mentioned that too. He faced, I guess Kenny was one of them, but 2 Annihilate Conquerors, and you just don't switch out in that matchup.
Right.
You get the Pulse Wave, and you just... Now, he could probably, he might... I don't know if he wins map, and so he could... Or, if he wins map, he waits to see if you switch, and then if you do switch one of the, Invisible Women to Franklin, because you know that's not going to happen.
You want to explain that real quick, because I'm sure most people don't know about that.
So the Pulse Wave?
Yeah. So let's explain the Pulse Wave, and then let's explain the timing thing that you just mentioned as well. So do the Pulse Wave first.
All right. So Pulse Wave basically turns off powers, and so because it causes powers to be turned off or to expire, that means all durations currently in effect that have an are expired, essentially.
Yeah, In the old rules, there used to be a suspended duration, and it would come back. That's no longer the case.
The
If
old
something has
the old
a duration,
rules used to be the twin rules of durations that no longer
Right.
exist.
sure, yeah.
Right.
So if something has a duration and it gets turned off, it's off until it gets reactivated.
That includes pulse. That includes perplex, outwit. There's not a lot that it affects. Trust me, I looked into it. It's like powers that are on your opponent's turn that last until their next turn. That doesn't happen a lot, to be honest. It's like God Emperor Doom's thing has a thing like that where he just turns off your equipment. Well, if you pulse wave him, that turn off of equipment is no longer in effect until he activates it again. Invisible Wonder Woman, same thing. Invisible Woman. If she has her, you can't target me within 3, you can run up and pulse wave because it just turns that off. And it's no longer in effect until they activate it again. So at that point, the power's turned off. Everybody else could go ham on Invisible Wonder Woman because the power's gone. Like,
I want to
no
just be
longer
very specific why this works. If she had a trait that said she can't be targeted unless you start within 4, then it would not, Pulse Wave wouldn't affect it. But since hers specifically says at the beginning of your turn you choose this,
Well, it's a free action, right?
for the sure at the beginning.
It's a free action.
Okay, free until your next turn. Right, it has a duration, and then you have to pick it every turn. That's why it shuts it off, because there's a duration there. A flat trait, it does not affect at all.
It'd be kind of broken if it just was on all the time, though. We could be honest.
Well, it is all the time, except for if you pulse wave it.
Well,
right?
no, it's a free action, so you could do stuff like Billy Batson or stuff to like.
Well, sure.
I mean, you could do something else, but yeah. So going into Morehead, we found this out not long before, and I don't know, Dan, if that's what made you switch or the fact that we kept countering your team.
No, y'all
leading up to it.
No, the reason I switched from playing Invisible Woman because y'all wore me the fuck out trying to counter me for days on end, and I just got sick of it.
Just real quick, I do have to say it was not Patrick Frazier that inspired my team. It was absolutely Matt Esbrook. Because I lost to him in top 4, and that was the most. And Heroclix for Huntington's against his Invisible team, and that was the most infuriating thing that has ever happened to me in Heroclix. And so I built a team that beats Invisible Woman. So that just hats off to Matt for doing that.
To clear up the beginning of game thing, also what he could have done as an option is that if Matt wins map, he is now the first player. He gets to determine what order the beginning of game effects go. So he could say, okay, Mr. Doom player, you go ahead and do your switching Dooms thing. And then at that point, he could say, okay, he switched away like an idiot from Annihilating Conqueror. I can now safely play my Invisible Woman.
Right.
Or, oh no, he realized he should be playing Annihilating Conqueror and he kept him. I can now switch out one of my Invisible Woman or 2, however he wants to do it, to something that's not based on that trait anymore. Maybe something that's not going to be as good as it, but probably another option that maybe can help the match.
So I'll say, with that counter being able now, and it being out there, and it being pretty commonplace and easy to do, and with it being spread more, it seems to me like the Invisible Woman dream is dead. It doesn't seem like it's probably a viable thing moving forward. That's just my opinion.
I think it depends on, like, if we get more Fantastic Four pieces, like an Empire, maybe there's some better switch outs, and maybe like you could switch out an Invisible Woman for just another good attacker. Because right now it's like, Wolverine and I hang back, but maybe there's something new. Because Fantastic Four doesn't have a lot of heavy hitters. It's more about team cohesiveness. So, Empire, maybe there's something 100 points that does something.
I would also add this, right? It's still a fine team, right? But now, in like the situation with Manny, let's assume that Manny won Matt because he has a higher theme. He needs to trigger what you should do, right? Because Matt's only a +3. If you're Manny, you go ahead and force the swap out to happen before you do your Dooms, so you can see whether or not you need to keep Annihilating Conqueror or go to someone else.
Oh, true. Yeah, that's
absolutely
right. So now the counter to the counter to the counter is that if you win map, you make the invisible player go first, they should think that you know about Doom the Annihilating Conqueror, so they might go to a different setup other than the Invisible
And then you can
Whirlwind.
pick a good Doom. Still,
you can pick a good Doom, right? Yeah, I mean they're all good, but there's nothing wrong with Annihilating Conqueror. It's just
got Power Cosmic.
That's really the Pulse Wave is the only reason you would ever play Annihilating Conqueror.
right.
Let's all be real here. Like,
It's got Power Cosmic.
Sometimes,
Woo!
yeah.
sometimes.
True.
All right, so just a couple more questions tonight, I think. So, Ricky Kirk wrote in, so with the results of Clix Cup, does this mean that Maggot is the best champ piece? I mean, it's obviously Juggernaut, so, I mean...
It's probably still Flash, just because he goes on way more teams.
Right.
Yeah, that's a good point. I would almost put it as 1A, 1B, but no, 1 and 2. It's definitely second. Flash is just...
It's too good. It's keywords,
good.
yeah. He's
Now-
another big reason why the Alpha Strike is taken off, is because you pay 50 points and you have a great Alpha Strike.
Now, is that your rankings of champ pieces of all time?
That sounds like a tier maker will make at some point.
It does sound like
I
that.
don't think
enough.
I don't think we have to go that far, right?
That sounds like fun to me.
It is, but if you just do list of player elements, Heroclix.
300 modern though. Right now, it's got to be Flash for sure.
Yeah, I mean 300 modern, yeah, but so
There's only like 3 pieces?
Well, it's
4?
at least 4.
4. Yeah, there's 4 right now.
What's the 4th one? I'm not
Lex.
No, I had Lex, Flash, Juggernaut, Maggot.
That's 4.
4. I can't count. Yeah.
So I mean, it's like really, do you think? Well, so Maggot. So let's as far as 1, 2, right? So Flash 1, Maggot 2. Is Bedcrawler better than those 2?
Yeah, I don't know because I didn't play back then. But
Jason?
Based on what I've heard,
what do you think?
Seems like yes.
What do you think?
What, that
Is Bedcrawler
was really stupid good?
Is Bedcrawler better than the other 2?
Flash and Maggot.
I mean, it's a whole different game from those 2. But like back in the day, he was just stupid good. I mean, really good.
The Flash fits on so many teams. He's on like 50% of teams.
Right.
You know?
All right. So I
think it's fair to compare him.
What about George's Black Adam?
Yeah, I think this is too hard for me because I play with these pieces and they just look bad to me now.
During the ID age, I would maybe put Black Adam 3rd.
No, George's Black Adam's a really old Black Adam.
Yeah, it was
It's old.
Never mind.
He was never like played a bunch. I don't think.
Other than by George, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr.
Didn't
He's the only one that could play it.
He
probably did because
he almost won with his Black Adam. So
nobody else had that kind of success record.
Right. Yeah. So that would leave.
I remember.
That would leave Daniel Jones as Mr. Sinister.
Wasn't played a ton.
Right. That and then next
Chameleon?
up would be Alex Avalia's Stargirl.
Nope.
Shriek.
Nope.
Harley Quinn. From
Harley
Jake,
Quinn was solid.
Yeah, that one was kind of solid.
but not better than Flash or Maggot.
No.
Yeah, no. I mean, it may be better than the other.
Yeah, we can rank them all in themselves, right? We're just wondering if something's going to break the top 2 here.
Yeah.
Patrick's Chameleon.
No.
That one's tough. Like if in today's world, if he was played in today's world, absolutely, I think he would be 100%. Because the problem is when Chameleon was out, there was not a lot of wow, bam, lower point figures that just were out of the gate amazing.
I disagree. I feel like you got excited about him, but then
I mean, we'll see. Silver Age, right? Isn't he legal in Silver Age?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So we'll see, right? So we could potentially see him. His keywords are what held him back, I think, more than anything. But
well, that's what I'm saying is the best thing about Flash. That's why he's so good.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if he can.
If you take away the Latveria part, I wonder how successful
He has
Flash is.
10 keywords.
I know, but like what? Half of the time he goes on Latveria with cosmic pieces.
No,
yeah.
Or Justice League.
So
I bet if
in,
Latveria wasn't a thing, then past or future would be keywords that people hear.
right.
With Robbie, yeah, sure.
So in top 8, right? He was on 2 of the scientist team. He was on both of the unthemed teams. Yeah.
That
So,
says more than anything, I think, is he's on the unthemed teams.
all right, so just running through here the rest of them real quick. Is Paris's Mephisto?
No.
No.
Pat's Beta Ray Bill.
Ooh,
Howard
not anymore.
Howard Shazam.
No.
Billy, no.
Tylor's Jugs.
No.
Isaac's Lex.
Nope.
Maybe last year.
Maybe with pushing
That's the
damage.
unfortunate part. Yeah, if pushing damage was a thing,
And knockback.
then maybe we'd be like, we may be saying, 50-point Lex, crazy good because you can push him. But now it's like,
All right,
It's like the only one close would be Nightcrawler.
yeah, I think we're almost done here. So, Son of Faust from Pat and crew.
I didn't even know that was a champ piece.
Yeah, you can play.
I like that piece. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, the roll 3 dice one.
Mm-hmm.
Devil Dino.
No.
Hawkman,
Devil
Hawk
Dino.
Girl.
No. That plays just one though.
Billy.
No.
Okay, then that's it.
I think that there's probably contention with the Nightcrawler, but I think that's about it. I think those are the clear top 3.
Fair enough.
And I also think it's a little hard to rate these because they're in different. It's
But-
kind of like
so we're not
back to.
I would say we don't have to rate them all today, right? But
It's like talking. It's
Flash
like
and Maggot.
it's like arguing like NBA superstars from today to like, oh yeah, but what about Michael Jordan? It's like it's a different game at that point, and it's same in this. Back when Ben Crawler and whatnot was played, it's a completely different game at that point. Powers were different, the rules were different. I still think Flash is probably the best, but at the same time, it's like it's a completely different game. That's why for me, Chameleon, it's like there were not nearly as good low point pieces for him to disguise himself at. But now he could turn into a Maggot or a Flash if he wants to.
Okay, then how about instead of best, we're saying meta impact? Who had the most meta impact?
At the time,
that's what I'm. Who had the most meta impact? Not who would have now. Who had the most meta impact?
And that's another thing where it's like, I wish we had data for more back then, where we could be like, let's see.
Nobody touches Flash. Nobody comes in the ballpark of the meta impact Flash has had in 3 months.
We've only had 2 big events, two-ish big events, and one of them was you didn't have to have ownership.
He's been on over half the teams.
We don't know how many teams Nightcrawler was on back in those days. Either.
That's true. I
and I'm pretty sure he won championship too.
Yeah.
Like Tylor, you're probably going to be right. It's just it's too soon to say that because we don't have all the events yet. We don't if we have Worlds or something this year or next year, you're probably going to be right. Like a majority of the teams are going to have Flash. It's just at this point we've had the Huntington's event and the Clix Cup. Those are really the only 2 big events since Wonder Woman's been out, and that's
true.
So it's like you're most likely going to be right, but at this point we can't say, oh yeah, bigger impact if Ben Crawler was winning major tournaments. Well, that hasn't happened. Well, we haven't had major tournaments yet. So
I would like to just go ahead and give a quick little shout out to Andrew Eftink. That sometimes it's better to just not play devil's advocate, Alex.
I wasn't playing devil's advocate, was I?
I don't know. Some version of the devil's advocate there.
Mephisto.
You're the devil, okay?
Mephisto advocate.
The Mephisto, yeah. Alex's piece is Mephisto.
Nope. My wife
That piece was great.
My wife would be upset if that was my character piece.
Yeah, I get to see that.
I can see that.
This is definitely not related at all. I gotta pick a sculpt because I get a sculpt, so we gotta think about that.
Oh, you get a sculpt. Oh yeah, you get to create a Goldie Hawn sculpt.
Goldie Hawn sculpt.
Right. Yeah, nothing.
Not
Not a
universe. I also thought it would be super cool to do like a sick Illidan sculpt from World of Warcraft. That would be super cool, but I don't know. We'll see. Or I could just do like a super cool custom Juggernaut piece.
Okay, so sorry, clear this up. Is Goldie Hawn like a sculptor or something?
It's not a real name.
Okay, because I'm sitting.
No, I think that's his actual. That's his actual name. I think.
Oh, really?
I'm thinking of actual Goldie Hawn, and I'm like, what the hell is everyone?
Yeah, I got a Goldie Hawn sculpt. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, she was in that
Charlie's
that boat
Angels,
movie, that boat movie. Okay, like with Kurt Russell, I'm confused, but okay. Yeah, I was legit confused until you said a sculpt, and I was like, it's a custom sculpt. It's like saying I'm getting a Jeremiah Peterson tray or something. Yeah. It's like, okay, that makes sense. I've just never put two and two together. So
yep.
Makes sense now. Hey, so random fact. This is your random Muppet Babies fact of the day. Baby Animal was originally voiced by Howie Mandel for 2 years, and then it was switched over to Uncle Joey from Full House for the rest of the series.
You think I don't know that?
Come on, our listeners, man.
Oh, you're right. That's a good fact to know.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap us up with final thoughts. Alex, I'm strongly considering that you just burned your final thoughts with that one.
That's fair. That's okay. I don't need a final thought.
Jason, final thoughts?
Look at your maps physically in front of you, and before you take them to a tournament.
I agree with that so much.
I'm glad. Tyler, what are yours?
Tune in next week for your random Muppet Baby trivia fact.
Yeah, and my final thoughts are, just practice your teams. I mean, now that we're getting back into in-person play and higher stakes, and time to collect those pieces again, folks. Time for buy those bricks that have been sitting on your store shelves, and go to the aftermarket for singles, and let's get
one more.
Go ahead.
I have one final thought.
Okay.
Last final thought. Random thought. Walt Disney does own Jim Henson Productions and Marvel. Let's get it.
Muppet Baby set.
The Muppet Baby set. It's done. This is it.
Okay, I kind of want to do a Muppet. That's our next That's our next contest for Troll and Toad. It's a Muppet Baby style.
No.
Best Muppet clips.
So, let's catch up on buying those pieces you've neglected to spend on during the pandemic, and I hope that.
I don't wanna.
Yeah, I know. I need my pieces back too, please.
I gotta mail this.
Yeah, so just practice. Spend the reps, making your team better. And it'll treat you right in the end. So thanks everybody for listening to Clixed Off today. Congrats again, Tyler, on your big win this weekend, and we'll talk to y'all next time.
See ya.
Where all your dreams come true.